Hello, welcome to Bottle Episodes. This is the show where we watch the best episodes of bad television. My name's David Piccolomini, and I wanted to welcome you guys all to the show. This is the first episode. I'm very excited to be putting it out. I am personally a huge TV addict. I watch everything. Like, I'm the person that watches Peacock Originals. It's me. Fellow comedian Daniel Crow and myself, we go through and watch the first episode of a terrible TV show, and then we watch the best rated episode on IMDb of that TV show. And then we watch those, and then we try and figure out what the fuck happened in the middle of that. Was the best episode better than the first episode? All that stuff. So that's the show. And we're going to bring on guests, and we have a bunch of bad TV shows of all sorts. Definitely, if you have bad TV shows that you think would be really good, don't be afraid. Write those in the comments or reviews, or send us messages, whatever you want to do for that. You can do that on Instagram at Daniel F. Crow, or for me, it's DPIC Comedy. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, that's what that is. And then I have a special out on YouTube now called Goblin King. It's over 30,000 views. Go check it out. It's pretty cool. And finally, we're going to do a thing because it's bottle episodes. These are shows that are better if you're a little bit buzzed. If you have a bottle or a drink or something, they're, high, whatever you want to, whatever drugs or drinks or whatever. Just do meth and listen to Dog with the Blog, watch Dog with the Blog and do meth. Nailed it. But since you want to drink, we're doing little paired drink suggestions. We came up with the idea after we did the first batch of episodes, so I'm going to try it here. So this is called Dog with the Blog. So I think a good one is, if you want to drink with your dog, they have dog beer. So you have a craft beer of your favorite choice. Personally, I prefer a stout. And then your dog has a dog beer, which I think is mostly bone broth. Or you could just give your dog a light beer, and as long as it's big enough, it'll probably be fine. But don't do that. I'm legally not responsible if you give your dog beer. I Googled that, and it said they were like, be careful. It's toxic for sure, but also it's toxic for humans. Like, if aliens were raising us, they'd be like, you gave alcohol to humans? Don't you know what that can do to them? Oh, that's awful. Okay, I'm going to stop doing stand-up bits and bring you into the episode, the first episode of Bottle Episodes. Guys, check out Dog with the Blog. All right, Daniel.
Yeah.
If you were reading a blog written by a dog, what do you think the entry would be?
I think it would be, hello, I've just learned how to use a computer. Pretty cool.
So you're reading its first entry. You're finding.
Yeah, I'm a fan since the very beginning.
All right, guys.
I also
welcome to Bottle
I just
Episodes.
think if a dog could use a computer, they wouldn't start a blog.
No, I don't think. I mean, they might.
No, because dogs are not self-centered in that way. They love others.
So you think it would be a lack of selfishness that would keep the dog
They would love
from creating a blog?
They would love to use a site like Instagram to see others enjoying themselves.
Okay, so you think
Dogs love people, and so they would want to watch people having fun. That's when dogs are at their most happy.
When they're watching other people or watching dogs have fun.
Yeah, but they dogs, in my experience, they're not ones to brag.
They're too altruistic for this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Welcome to Bottle Episodes, everybody. I'm David Piccolomini.
I'm Daniel Crow, avid dog fan.
And we are covering this week for our worst of television. I'm gonna just try that again.
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm David Piccolomini.
I'm Daniel Crow.
And welcome to Bottle Episodes, the show where we go through terrible television, terrible TV shows. That's it.
And their best episodes.
Yeah. But I'm gonna do it one more time. This is, by the way, I'm keeping all of these in.
That's fine. I get paid either way.
I'm David Piccolomini.
Still Daniel Crow.
And welcome to Dog with a Blog, the bottle episode about how we... Okay, here's what's actually happening, is we just watched possibly one of the greatest episodes of television ever created.
That's right, Dog with a Blog, episode 1.
So we batch record these because we live in different states. And we were like, let's take a break before we record this next episode.
Let's watch the new episode of Succession.
And that happened to be Connor's wedding. And without spoiling anything, it's one of the greatest episodes of television ever created.
Please watch everything Jesse Armstrong has ever been involved in.
Yeah, it's all great. It's all you should definitely watch it. Anyway, let's talk more about Dog with a Blog.
It is a bit of whiplash, but I will say this. For the first 6 shows we watched first batch,
Yeah.
and I don't know what order these will be released in, I found Dog with a Blog against all odds the most interesting one.
Really?
We only had to watch 2 episodes of each show to fulfill the premise of the show. We watched the pilot, and then we watched the highest rated show on highest rated episode on IMDb. I watched 4 episodes of Dog with a Blog.
Okay, well, in a technicality that we will probably end up keeping with for most shows, this was a 2-part episode.
If any of the other shows that we had, okay, that's not true. And all but one of the other ones that we had in this batch,
yeah,
I would not have watched the second part of I would not have cared.
Really?
But for some reason, Dog with a Blog commanded my attention.
So let's get into what Dog with a Blog actually is.
I want to say one thing before we get into the plot of Dog with a Blog. It is the reason we're doing this podcast. It is the reason we're doing this podcast because I don't know why, but we decided to look up what producers of Frasier were up to. And we just got to one producer of Frasier who had made Dog with a Blog. We were immediately fascinated with the name, and then we looked up how reviled it seemed, and we thought, why are people so mad at the show Dog with a Blog?
Dog with a Blog is sitting on IMDb with a 4.9 rating out of
which
10.
is about a full point to point and a half lower than every other comparable Disney sitcom from the era. And we also saw it popped up on some worst sitcoms of all time lists.
Which I think they're just getting it from IMDb. I think those people are just pulling from...
We'll get into another reason, but I think there was some other social factor at play that
for why it's so low, but I think
yeah,
once
we'll
it's
get
low
into
on
that.
IMDb...
We'll get into that later, though.
Okay. Yeah, the mysteries never stop. First of all, Dog with a Blog. A family adopts a dog named Stan in the hope that 2 feuding step-siblings will bond over the pet. It works when the siblings find out soon that the dog can talk and write.
First of all, such a odd name for a dog. It's too normal.
Stan? Yeah.
It's too normal for a dog. And that
it's also post Eminem.
Yeah. That's one of the truly interesting things about Dog with a Blog. It's just consistently odd.
There's weird.
Just odd things throughout it that you are continually wondering, what odd thing is Dog with a Blog going to do next? This is not related to the show itself, but we did find a video of the dad from Dog with a Blog on YouTube rating Death Grip's album covers. And I wouldn't be surprised if that was also in an episode of the show at some point, because we didn't watch every episode. But if Death Grips guest starred in an episode of Dog with a Blog, I wouldn't be shocked. That's how consistently odd the show is.
It is. It's just it's weird because it is just like a Disney Channel sitcom show, but it is just, I don't know if they're all like this, but the idea of like the diversity, like acceptance group, and all the cheerleaders coming over at the same time.
Yeah.
I guess that feels like that might be standard Disney Channel as I say it out loud.
That's not. I mean, when I was thinking of all the weird things that happened in Dog with the Blog, that didn't even crack the top 10.
But here's the thing: is that's how it starts, because it starts kind of standard Disney Channel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then we're watching an episode from season 3. And the evolutions they've taken these characters to is because it starts off very standard sitcom. It's 2, their parents got married.
There's 3 kids, not 2.
Their parents got married. They couldn't get along. I think the 3rd kid is theirs together.
Oh, okay.
No, they were only a year together. So no, that's just his other kid. Who
I think that's from the dad.
Yeah, the dad's other kid, who is just a weird kid that gets along, I guess, but is also scared of monsters.
No, I think she's friends with monsters.
Yeah, she's psychotic. She's the psychotic little kid. They're doing that trope. It's the kid who's like secretly a monster, but she's adorable, so it's got that dissonance.
Yeah.
But then also, it's this guy Regan Birds and
who you've
Beth
seen
Littleford.
in a million things, and you've seen both of the parents in so many things.
They are doing like this kind of thing a lot.
We did look up Beth's career, and she is probably the least successful Daily Show correspondent of her era.
Yeah.
But she's still in a lot.
She's still no.
But when she was on set of Dog with a Blog, she was thinking everything Steve Carell and Colbert went on to. She was thinking about that.
People are just watching The Office on their phones while filming Dog with a Blog. And Regan Birds, on the other end of the spectrum, is in the half-hour news hour. The conservative. We will be talking about that at some
Fox
point.
News answer to the Daily Show.
That existed for a little bit. He was a part of that Players, so I wonder how much they got along.
He may have just taken that as a gig, to be honest.
Fair, but I feel like those vet a little bit.
Listen, you don't rank all the Death Grips album covers.
He didn't know what they were. It was on his kid's podcast.
Listen, let me believe the reality where
he was like, "Wow, that's a penis. Mine doesn't look anything like that."
And it's quality entertainment like that gets you a role on Disney Channel sitcoms.
That is true. Yeah, that guy does not give a fuck.
Yeah, but can I just point out some odd things about Dog with the Blog?
Yes.
By
please.
the first episode, they've stopped caring about the blog.
They did not care about the blog in the first episode.
Yeah. They just use it to bookend it. They've forgotten what the show is. The blogging from what we watched barely factors into the plot of Dog with a Blog. The dog barely seems to care about the blog.
Yeah, I don't know. Is that like, why does a dog need a job? We have not really.
We don't know if the blog is monetized. There's no episode that we saw where the dog was like dealing with sponsors. It could just be personal.
He's just got a Google AdSense thing going.
We don't know if he ever has any brand partnerships. But
yeah,
they don't.
The blog is just talking about his life.
I have a couple theories for the origin of Dog with a Blog.
Okay.
One, there's a New Yorker cartoon from the 90s that has become a bit of an internet meme. And it's just a dog at a computer, and it says, on the internet, no one knows you're a dog. And I think it's possible that the writer, who was a producer on Frasier, so he knows New Yorker cartoons, just said, I can make that into a show. There's option 2, which is that Disney Channel reached out to them and said, can you make our response to iCarly? And he was like, I spent 2 seconds thinking about it, and I've come up with the title Dog with a Blog. And they said, perfect. And then he forgot that it was supposed to be internet-based at all. Those are the two possible solutions. Yeah. Because the dog consistently can talk. That is true. It is a talking dog show. The dog barely blogs.
The dog does not blog. He blogs at the beginning and the end, and then also will use the computer to look at dog pornography.
The dog is incredibly horny. That is another odd thing about Dog with a Blog. There's a lot of jokes about the dog being, unquenchably lustful towards poodles.
Yeah, like incredible. He's nuts about the poodle lady. Also, by the way,
that is a weird thing. If the dog was just generally horny for other dogs, fine. But this dog is a fetishist towards one specific kind of dog, and that's weirder.
And I think the other thing that I really don't like about it is also they're just picking poodle because it's like that's the girl dog.
They're picking poodle because one of the writers has a thing for poodles.
I
assume.
You think this is a Dean Pelton and Community style situation?
This is very much Tarantino and Feet, but on the Disney Channel.
God, dog. It also could be because I think about this sometimes. I was listening to commentary about
for Dog with a Blog.
Yeah, Dog with a Blog. But someone's talking about how you only have about 8 episodes for your to write your characters before the actors kind of take over and imbue a lot of personality on them. And so I wonder if that's happening with Stan the dog.
Well, it's interesting to bring up that point because he seems pretty much the same between the episodes we watch, which there was 2.5 seasons between. Every other character seems very different. And I'm curious if they changed within those 8 episodes that you're saying.
They just were like, well, he's horny. Let's just make that the character.
Yeah.
He has the face, this is meaner, I guess, but he has a good villain face for
the dog.
Yes, the guy who voices the dog.
Well, actually, the guy who voices the dog. I thought you were saying the dog himself.
No, the dog. I do know about the dog. The dog.
Can I see a picture of the face of the guy that voices Stan the dog?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one of those pictures definitely, but he's mostly a friendly enough looking guy. But yeah, one of those pictures he does
There are several.
look quite villainous.
He's sneering a lot. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Even in his good pictures, he's still sneering.
You think he's the one that was into poodles? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think Stephen Full was deep in poodle.
But we watched that first episode, and then we fast forwarded 2.5 seasons, and I think I immediately went, "That's a different dog." And we looked it up. They had to replace the dog after only a couple episodes.
Yeah, they replaced the dog 5 episodes because the owner of the dog did not realize how stressful a film production would be. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this with my dog. That's crazy."
What if the dog loved it though?
I mean, apparently not. Probably not.
What if the owner just hated it?
Then that owner is a bad stage parent.
Yeah.
And he'll never get his dog more work that way.
Yeah.
I do love the idea that the dog just got like scouted outside, like at a park or something.
You're a star dog.
Because, yeah, usually you get like a training dog, but like, how did that guy not know that film sets were going to be that, like, if it wasn't a film dog?
Maybe he meant literally film. Maybe this thing was filming on film instead of digital. Like, my dog can't be doing these long breaks between takes. Well,
they got to set up a new reel. That would be. I would love to see this like on like gradient film.
Just a gritty dog with a blog.
I'm a dog with a blog and a gun.
So yeah, I think I should say why I think Dog with a Blog has such a bad reputation.
Oh yeah,
compared to other Disney sitcoms.
Because at the end of the day, we haven't even gotten to the second episode yet.
We haven't really discussed what happens in the first episode at all. We haven't discussed many of the characters, in fact. But I will say why I think people hate Dog with a Blog.
Yeah.
And that is an article I found that I can't remember what site ran it at first, maybe like Huffington Post or something, but it got picked up by a lot of other sites. And it would have been during Dog with a Blog's second season. And the headline was simply, Parks and Recreation has lower ratings than Dog with a Blog. I think at that point, you turn a show beloved by the internet in contrast to a show called Dog with a Blog. People are going to get furious.
Mad on principle.
They're going to review bomb you. They're going to put
sure.
you on worst shows of all time lists. When you're just a weird show about a dog that can talk, that isn't trying to hurt anybody at all.
You don't think he's trying to hurt anybody?
Okay, he's trying to hurt some people emotionally, but the show itself is not trying to hurt anybody.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, it's no worse than any other Disney sitcom I've seen. It doesn't deserve to be as hated as it is. In fact, it's too weird to be hated, in my opinion.
It's not good.
No, I'm not. Look, I've not watched any more than those 4 episodes. I haven't watched it in my free time.
I'm going to say it's more of that thing of, I get it. It's like, it's a show for kids. So at the end of the day, that's really, there are so many better shows for kids that do. This one
It's not Over the Garden Wall.
No, for sure. But I mean, it's doing the thing where it does random instead of funny.
Yeah, I see what you mean, but I really think that is just a sign of some writers who stopped caring.
Yeah. You know what though?
And we're
that
just
is true.
trying to do the
I did have more
stupidest
fun.
things they can.
I did have more fun watching Dog with a Blog. I like some of the other ones more. I actually like one of these shows on the list. But with Dog with a Blog, it is more fun. I will admit, like, there were jokes that got me to laugh.
Yeah, no, legitimate laughter I saw from you more than once.
Because it's just such a weird. Let's get into what the show, like the actual
pilot
episodes.
episode.
Yeah. So the pilot episode is basically, they don't like each other. They both.
Well, let's set up the characters a bit. Okay. I do not remember their names, but one of them is essentially like a 13-year-old version of Tracy Flick from Election.
Yes.
And then her brother, who
Tyler James, Avery and Tyler.
Her stepbrother, who he's just kind of he's not a jock. He's just sort of dumb.
He's a dumb hot guy.
Yeah, and here's
constantly trying to fuck,
but not poodles, thankfully.
Yeah.
But we
haven't watched all the episodes.
Here's a weird thing. When I was watching it, I asked you what you thought the age difference between those actors was. I thought the girl was maybe 12 and the boy was like 18.
Uh-huh.
There's like 2 years between them.
No, they look dramatically different. I assumed he was in his 20s.
Yeah, it's really weird.
And then you might recognize Genevieve Hanelius from, she was in American Vandal.
Yep.
She does a great job in that.
I think that's one thing that piqued our interest when we were learning about Dog with a Blog.
We're like, oh, American Vandal Girl's in it.
And the Frasier producers made this dog blog show that people hate.
Well, let's just also get it. He's made a bunch of stuff.
The Frasier, the guy that created this?
Yeah. He actually, along with the writer of Dude, Where's My Car?
Wait, they created this together?
So
I did not know one of the writers of Dude, Where's My Car was involved.
Yep.
If you've ever wondered...
He was also a staff writer for South Park and That 70s Show.
Which one was? The Dude, Where's My Car or the Frasier guy?
The Dude, Where's My Car guy.
Okay, you know what? It is so weird you bring that up, though. Because this actually puts the show into so much more perspective. Because in many ways, it is a combination of Frasier and Dude, Where's My Car? Like, tonally? Because...
It is a lot.
Do you want to say that line about France? Do you want to relay that to our listeners?
Okay, so at one point, one of the main characters goes up and he's pretending to be a French veterinarian, a famous French veterinarian. So he's up there, he's fucking losing it. He can't handle it. He's not doing well. And then she goes, you know what? Let's just switch to French, so that way you can talk. Thinking she's got him, and then he speaks perfect French. She falls in line, and then they go, you know French? By the way, 3 seasons of a TV show. He's just dropping he knows French. And he goes, I love France. They've done so much with us with their fries, their toast, and their farces.
Yeah, those first two, pure Dude, Where's My Car? And then in comes Frasier to go, and don't forget their farces. And
Frasier is just basically Moliere.
Oh, you've been waiting a long time to say that publicly.
Like, if you're going to set me up for it.
Yeah.
Frasier's just Moliere. You're not smart for liking it.
But
anyway.
I had no idea Dude, Where's My Car was involved. That really makes so much sense now. Because you can feel those forces pulling against each other at all times.
It is. That's why the show's so horny.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And there's that weird joke about the little girl being a mob boss at some point.
Yeah, she starts working at the black market.
That's what she says.
Yeah. Also, the other guy, the main guy, Michael B. Kaplan, who was a producer on Frasier. So he wrote for Frasier, he wrote for Roseanne. He's a big writer on Herman's Head. Inside
Herman's Head?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot like the film Inside Out. I think a lot of people accuse Inside Out of ripping that off. I've not seen it. I've just heard of it.
Conrad Bloom, Gary and Mike, Girlfriends. And then after Girlfriends, he went to I'm in the Band, Dog with a Blog, and then Best Friends Whenever, which lasted for 1 season on Disney Channel.
Yeah, so I guess we should go back to the plot of the first episode.
Oh, by the way, Best Friends Whenever is a time travel show.
Great. We'll get to you one day, Best Friends Whenever.
Best Friends Whenever. It's below the Joey line.
Oh, yeah.
Let's save it.
All right.
Okay, so Dog with the Blog. The first episode, Avery and Tyler don't get along. They both want use of the living room. Tyler wants it for a bunch of cheerleaders to do a homeschool with the musical, and Avery wants it for her disabled advocacy group to help out a guy. I don't remember exactly. It's basically like she's a really good active person and he loves teenage girls, which is appropriate because he's a teenage boy. And then they have their other sister who is crazy.
I want to say this. All the child actors, pretty good.
Solid. They're solid actors.
I expected abysmal when I saw the reviews.
They're pulling their weight. It's the writing. The writing's doing a lot of the...
That's the Frasier for you.
The mom and dad are tired of seeing their kids fight, so they're like... the dad, who is a disrespected child psychologist. He's real bad at his job. He's playing a real doofy dad. He gives the Republican vibes.
Yeah, there's that part where he turns to the camera and says he doesn't support abortion.
Yeah.
That's a weird moment in the show. Sets a weird tone.
It does set a weird tone for the rest of the... But anyway, so he's this child psychologist. He gets him a dog because he's like, then they're going to have to be friends to take care of this dog.
The mom hates the dog, though, right?
Mom hates the dog immediately. She likes cats. Mom's a cat person. What a shrill bitch the show's trying to tell us to say.
And weirdly, the dad turns to the camera and says that exact line as well.
I don't think that, but that's what the show is doing, how much it hates this dog.
Yeah.
She hates this dog. She is it's doing full stick in the mud boring.
Yeah.
She's just, I am upset all the time, and I'm trying to catch this dog. Much like, I guess, that's a classic of, like, Fairly Odd Parents. You're just trying to catch the magical thing happening.
Yeah, but the kids don't know at this point yet that the dog can talk or blog.
No, the dog is scared to reveal that he can talk.
Which, I don't mean to be presumptuous about how I would act in a given situation, but if I was a dog and I could talk, yeah, I'd be telling people.
I think that's how you get experimented on.
Which he has in the past. They get flashbacks to his owners.
Yeah, they give flashbacks to a lot of owners who have who got either locked up in an insane asylum or tried to do experiments on him.
Yeah. Which we all know wouldn't happen. You would just get a popular Instagram account.
Yeah. With your talking dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would you not just become a celebrity?
Yeah.
Why not?
Grumpy Cat couldn't even talk. It could just look sour. And it got a movie.
You got a whole movie voiced by Delaware's own Aubrey Plaza.
We both are from Delaware.
You've learned something about us this episode. So, the dog reveals that he can talk because he's too excited for food and they won't give it to him.
He reveals it to the kids.
To the kids.
But not the youngest kid?
The youngest kid figures it out same episode.
Yeah, you're right, she does.
Everybody knows it. It's a bunch of kids and their magical talking dog having hijinks around the parents. The dog gets captured because he thinks the kids don't love him.
Yeah, and who plays the dog catcher, by the way?
Oh, Guillermo del Toro.
Wrong Guillermo altogether.
It's Harvey
Guillen? Yeah, from What We Do in the Shadows, where he plays Guillermo.
Yes.
But not Del Toro.
No, I said the wrong thing on purpose. Fred Stoller's in an episode also.
No.
Do you know who's not in an episode?
Of Dog with a Blog?
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
Barack Obama.
Yeah, that's true. One of the episodes I watched of Dog with a Blog was because Barack Obama was credited on IMDb as appearing in an episode. He does not appear in said episode.
Not even in a picture we looked.
But well done to the person that signed up and paid for an IMDb Pro account to put Barack Obama on the cast list for one episode of Dog with a Blog.
Also notably, the Harlem Globetrotters showed up in an episode.
What?
Yep.
Okay, if I had known that, I would have watched 5 episodes of Dog with a Blog.
Called Cat with a Blog.
Oh my God. They did not do an episode called Cat with a Blog, did they?
After accidentally ruining Ellen's new couch, Stan wishes he'd never been part of the family and wonders what it would have been like if he had been a cat instead.
Yeah, well, he would have been voiced for Eric Roberts, for starters, by Eric Roberts.
So, yeah, I guess in this situation, he would have had the Harlem Globetrotters if he had been a cat with a blog instead.
I don't even want to know how that happens. The mystery.
I mean, honestly, the episode we did watch.
Did we call an audible and watch that episode and resume the episode?
Honestly, if we're going to watch one, we're watching the final episode, which is Stan's Secret is Out, which Ellen and Bennett find out that Stan can talk. And shortly after, the entire James Jennings family is taken hostage by the U.S. Space Command's Alien Division.
What?
Yep. This is exactly what I've been
Isn't
talking
that how
about.
Alf ends?
I think they just take Alf, actually, in that one. This one, they take the family.
I mean,
This is kind of...
That's what I'm saying. Dog with a Blog is consistently odd to be interesting.
Yeah, they got Darren Norris in it, who's a guy who you mostly would know from his voice work. Also, he was in iZombie, but he's one of those guys. He has the voice where it's like a generic announcer voice.
Okay.
Spotswood in Team America World Police.
Okay.
But
he's in it?
Yeah, he's in that episode probably playing a government guy. Veronica Mars, he's one of the main guys. He's in Fairly Odd Parents for a lot of it. Oh, he's Cosmo. Shit.
Big get for them.
Yeah, and he's the dad.
It's weird that you mentioned Fairly Odd Parents in reference to this show earlier.
Yeah, well, listen, Darren Norris...
Dog with a Blog, it just leads to such good synchronicity in life like that. But yeah, so first episode of Dog with a Blog is...
standard.
It's pretty standard. There's some touches that make you realize this is going to be a weird show. But then...
hot poodles.
Yeah, that's odd. But then when we switch to the highest rated episode...
which is Stan has puppies.
Yeah, that's where you realize this show, at some point between season 1 and midway through season 3, went off the rails, and it's clearly being just written by guys having a great time and drinking a lot. It's being made by guys who are just thinking to themselves, man, I used to be on the staff for the Harvard Lampoon. Now I'm doing this, but you know what? I'm just going to have some fun doing literally whatever I want. Who cares? And yeah.
They just at one point they just add twins into the show.
Yeah, and there's like 6 episodes left. From what I can gather, that character had been. I don't know when he's introduced because he's not in the first episode, but he's
not.
He's like the love interest of the youngest kid.
No, they're in one episode.
They're only in that episode?
It looks like it.
What? I assumed he was a recurring character. He's got to be. No, they've got to be in 2 because they're the 2-parter.
Okay. Oh, 5 episodes. They're in 5
Okay.
episodes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Okay. So what happened is the twin is actually only in 1 episode. So they just do the reveal.
Because I felt like they were also in the episode I watched that I thought Obama was in.
No, but that's the other one, I guess.
So he's only in 5 episodes, and I watched 3 of them. That's why I thought he was a bigger character.
Yeah. So he's in 1 episode of season 2, and then 4 episodes of season 3.
So it is a character that had been set up before. I guess the youngest kid has a crush on her, and then with 5 episodes left, they reveal that he's been a twin this whole time, and she's been interacting with twins and didn't know.
I guess.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing to put in the show.
No shit, this kid's crushing it. He did 176 episodes of Days of Our Lives.
Oh, wait, which one? The original or the twin?
That's original.
And that character doesn't seem to have any joke other than not being sure how he ended up places. The character just exists as, how did I end up here?
He just weirdly shows up. He just kind of is taken by life.
I think he's like the film Jumper, but hasn't figured out his powers yet.
Well, it's also weird because part of my head wants to believe that they found out like 4 episodes in that he had a twin.
They were like, what?
We can, yeah, I guess we'll just use
Just
the
do a
twin.
twin thing, and then
That'll be funny for an episode.
yeah, and there's also a character who must have been more recurring. He seemed like he had been
Carl?
built up. Yeah, he just shows up in disguise every time we see him.
Literally, he's in full disguises each time, except for when at one point they need him to flirt with the other character they've introduced, which was the rich prissy girl who was above everything and had the other dog. He was then used to seduce her.
Even though he
This show is so horny.
yeah, that's the dude Where's My Car in it.
Yeah,
It's also a little bit of Frasier.
Yeah.
The dog is the horniest, though.
the dog. Thank God the dog is the horniest. Thank dog the block is the horniest.
Also, considering what we know.
How funny would it be if it was just an erotic?
I was about to say the same thing. You and I are on the same page. Considering what we know about the dog, it's a good thing they de-emphasized what his blog was about.
Because the blog is definitely about dog erotica.
Yeah.
It's definitely writing that dog has a dirty blog.
Would you like to regale the listeners with what you would imagine one of the dog's tails would be?
I got it.
All right.
2 feet off the ground. Thoroughbred. Dachshund. No, wait. No, it's got to be a poodle. It's always a poodle.
It's always a poodle.
It's always a poodle. Curls for days. I could just tell by the way that she's been manicured that she was a real, freak on the leash, if you know what I mean. She's on the leash up here, but I can't wait to take her off upstairs. Anyway, she's pissed I'm in the doghouse. Just because I said, nice butt. Can I sniff it? He's not very good at this.
No. Well, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't read the blog.
He's doing it doggy style every time. It's
Thank
really
you.
unoriginal.
It took you really long to get to that joke.
I thought of it earlier, but I was trying to do a more erotic. It's really uncomfortable to describe dog erotica.
Just for anyone wondering, yeah, David and I maintained eye contact the whole time he told that story.
Man.
I want to note how uncomfortable it is, by the way, when there's a talking dog, and he has mated with a dog that can't talk. Because I feel like
him to get consent.
I feel like he's the only one that can actually understand consent, the concept around it. I feel like he should kind of actually sort of have a vow of celibacy for his entire life, just from a moral perspective. Like, I get that he's incredibly horny, but I don't think it's right for him to have relations with any other dog.
Stan's secret is out.
Unless he meets another talking dog.
Wait, but can he talk to dogs? Because he can bark, and they can bark. Is he bilingual? And we have not watched enough of the show to find out if he's bilingual.
The episode where
he didn't talk to the dog at all. You're right.
No, she never barked at him.
She was mostly out of the episode. She was not really. She was busy giving birth for most of it.
We see her in part 2 because we watched part 2.
Right.
Even though we didn't have to. We wanted to know how the story ends. She's in that, and she doesn't
left
really
it on a cliffhanger.
She doesn't really bark in it. She's fairly passive. I guess in that sense, Stan is a bit old school in how he likes his ladies. You know, he takes after the dad from Dog with a Blog and his right-wing ways.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we should do the plot for the episode we watched.
Anyway, Stan's going to be a dad.
That's the plot of the episode we watched, the highest-rated episode.
And honestly, it is way more fun than the first episode. I will say that. Honestly, it was way more fun. I kind of want to see this episode where they get abducted, where we find out that Stan has been an alien this whole time. I think that's where that's going. That's the second. By the way, that's the second top-rated episode.
It could be that Stan is an alien, or it could be that they see him like the new Predator movie, where the predators come to kidnap kids with Asperger's because it's the next step in human evolution. But it could be like they want Stan because he's the next step in dog evolution.
They're gonna get blogging.
Blogging is the next step for dogs.
Once you get the live journals, then you get the power.
Oh, okay. So
what's dog for Zanga?
I don't know. So I'm trying to think what all the beats that happen in the episode.
Actually, you know what? I would love to watch Panda with a Zanga.
Panda with a Zanga. Okay, pitch me on what Panda with a Zanga is.
Okay, so it's a panda.
Mm-hmm.
He could talk. The parents steal him from China.
Great.
They're very wealthy.
Is it the same parents as from Dog with a Blog? They have their own universe?
Yeah. This is it's the same parents, but they have hit it big after their dog block gets huge, and they're trying to recreate that success by stealing a panda and convincing it to get a Zanga.
I mean, I'd watch it.
The panda is voiced by Patrick Warburton.
Perfect.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of like, the panda notoriously not horny like most pandas.
It is a more child-friendly animal in that regard for a Disney show.
But they are huge. It will be tough to wrangle a panda for 69 episodes.
That's why you just kind of have to let the panda do its own thing and film around that. And just improvise what you want the panda to do based on what it's doing already.
Okay, wait, I have a new one.
Yeah?
A hive urinal with a live urinal.
You know this is how the show Dog with a Blog got started in the first place, right?
So it's a beehive that's in a bathroom.
Yeah. Dog with a Blog happened because the two writers had a meeting with Disney. They forgot. They got really drunk the night before and woke up. They're like, "Oh, we have to pitch something," and they went into the office and they were just like, "Oh, man, Cat in a Hat? No, that's taken. Hang on, give me a minute. Ooh, boy, let's try Frog with a Blog. No, that's not right. Oh man,
Landmine with a landline.
We're getting closer. It's a bird with some cheese curds. No."
Bird with the curds.
Bird with the curds.
Bird with the word is about a bird that tweets.
All right. What are we doing with this podcast when we should be writing Bird with the word? About a bird with a popular Twitter account.
Called Shit This Bird Says.
Hey, I don't know what episode order these are going to be released in, but if you haven't heard our Bleep My Dad Says episode, this could be a weird sort of circular logic if you've just heard us in the Bleep My Dad Says episode referencing you to listen to the Dog with a Blog episode. And if you've done that,
I think you should check out the movie Air.
Yeah.
So so the whole episode is basically he's gonna have these puppies, but this rich girl. By the way, this show is like casually pretty misogynist. All the women in this show are like bad people, except for the sister.
The two daughters are not bad people.
The other daughter is like a chaotic, evil character.
Yeah, but she's a kid, so it's harmless.
Yeah. Until it's not.
We never saw her kill anyone on screen.
Yeah. We haven't watched that many episodes. Stan's secret is out. Is where she murdered. It's just her with an AK-47 just taking out government officials.
No, look, it's not in this episode, but we met Tracy Flick's group of friends, and they were fine. They weren't bad people.
Yeah, that's fair. They were fine. You're right. But
no, they are not kind to the girl that owns the dog Stan has impregnated without receiving verbal consent. They're not kind to that
bark
girl.
means bark.
Yep.
So they're not kind to her. They're really and so then she takes her dog to go be in the
exclusive dog spa
veterinary hospital thing. Yes.
And it leads to a great plot line, which I can't remember if it's in the first or second episode.
It's the first.
Where the mom
yeah
goes and
so they're all
she thinks
going
it's
there.
a regular spa.
Yeah.
And she gets
because they're chasing their kids there.
No, because the dad heard from the rich girl that it's like the best
spa. Oh, okay.
And he just assumed it was a human spa. So then the mom goes and she loves best spa she's ever been to. But he finds out it's for dogs in the middle. No, actually, you know what?
It goes to both.
Wait. You were saying that the dad's like big Republican and whatever?
Yeah, he does stand up for his wife.
Yeah, because
but he starts coming around to it.
Does he?
Yes.
Okay, there's this weird exchange at the dog spa where the dad is in the waiting room and he's talking to a guy and he thinks that guy is talking about his wife, but he's talking about his dog, and he's horrified.
Until he suddenly comes around to it. He's like, yeah, she could be pretty annoying.
You're right, that does happen, yeah.
And then they bring out a dog and he goes, oh no, I've sent my wife into a dog spa. And then
which is a better name for the show. If there's one title better than Dog with a Blog, it's oh no, I've sent my wife into a dog spa.
Coming soon to the CW, the new reality TV series.
Oh no, I've sent my wife to a dog spa.
You think you're sending her to an all-spade vacation.
All-spade vacation? Is that what you said? Is that what you said?
I did now. All-spade vacation.
No, I get what you mean by it could be its own show in the CW, but I like the idea of them calling Dog with a Blog, oh no, I sent my wife to an exclusive dog spa, and you have to wait 2.5 seasons for that to happen. You're just waiting the whole time.
You're like, I wonder when this dog spa's going to come up.
Finally. Now they can end the show.
So the kids have launched a daring scheme because they're going to reunite Stan with his...
yeah, because the rich girl she doesn't like Stan.
Yeah, Stan's
with good reason, because he didn't ask for consent.
Yeah, he's an aggressive predator.
Yeah.
That's why.
He can talk. It's not right.
She doesn't know that. She
can infer from context.
That's fair. So then they go to the hospital, they impersonate rich socialites.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they can't get in. Oh, no, this is weirder. Stan is pretending to be a pregnant dog.
Yes, he is.
Because they had a pregnant dog costume.
And it wasn't like, boy, but you called me stupid when I bought the pregnant dog costume at the costume sale.
But you have to buy every costume on.
Yeah, you have to buy every costume every time you go to any costume sale. That's what I'm saying about how there's just weird little flourishes throughout that continually made me wonder what was going on.
Yeah, you know what? And the more I talk about it, the more I'm kind of sold. I want to kind of watch this president episode, or not the president, where he gets
alien
abducted.
Episode, yeah.
By aliens, yeah. So they French their way through.
Because he does the great farce line.
Yep. And then they go in there.
But then the actual doctor shows up.
Yeah.
The actual vet.
That actually was a weird line that I did enjoy.
What was it?
Stink or knockout gas, enable. And then she pulls out a mask from her purse, because why not have that on all? You know how you take your large breathing mask, breathe anywhere, and then she goes, why even have a suggestion box? Which is a good line.
Yeah.
That's
the Frasier in them. 100 Emmys coming your way. Actually, isn't Dog with a Blog nominated for 4 Emmys?
Yeah, it was nominated for Emmys. Of course it was.
Yeah.
Primetime. Yeah, it was nominated for 4 Primetime Emmys for Best Outstanding Children's Program, which I think
Take
is
that, Parks and Recreation fans.
also outstanding voiceover performance for Stephen Full.
You know he's coasting off that Emmy nomination.
Oh my God, incredibly so. It is tough to sound like every generic stand-up I've ever heard from 2007, but he does it.
You nailed it.
Okay, let's talk about some of the reviews of this thing.
Really? I have so much more to say about the show.
Let's go for it. Keep going then.
I don't have more to say about the show.
Did you not? Are you out of...
I thought I might have.
They locked them in a closet. They did lock the doctor in a closet.
Yeah, they locked the doctor and the front desk woman in a closet.
Yeah. And then named the dogs after them because they seem nice.
Did that happen?
Yes.
God, there's too much weird stuff that happened in that show. Actually, no, I did have more to say about this show because I watched 2 further episodes.
I forgot. We haven't even covered that whole other
We
episode.
haven't even covered part 2. No, we've forgotten part 1 because
Go ahead.
the disguise guy ends up seducing the stuck-up girl.
Yeah. Through the other
Through
girl.
apathy? He doesn't even care, really.
He doesn't even care, but he's like, she's into me. And then...
and it's unclear why he's helping them because they seem to be enemies.
He seems like he's... From what it just feels like the trope of the weird sitcom oddball guy that just exists.
Yeah.
Like they kind of do it with the girl, but then you also have like Bean and Even Stevens is a good example.
This guy was weirder than Beans.
Sure, but not by that much. Beans is pretty weird in that show.
I guess, yeah. I mean, once audiences have been desensitized to Beans type characters, you just have to keep upping the stakes.
Or you just make him weirder.
Further Beans.
You make him weirder versions of it. Yeah, this guy, he dressed up as curtains.
Yeah.
What else did he dress up? It was so many weird things.
Yeah. But then...
I think at one point he was wood paneling.
yeah.
And they were like ornate costumes that only fit in the very specific spot he was standing in.
Yeah, it's a terrible way to blend in when you have to get to that spot.
Yeah,
then you're
for the
just
rest
walking
of the time, he was just a piece of a wardrobe walking by.
Yeah. you would notice. You would notice.
The rest of the time you would notice. How does he make those costumes? Does he take a picture of where he's going to be and then design a costume quickly?
That means he broke into the kid's house, took a picture of every room, just in case he has to ever hide in any of the rooms. So part 2 of that episode.
Oh, eventually they get the dogs. They're allowed in. They get to the happy ever after, except for cliffhanger. Stuck up lady is like, I'm actually selling these 2 dogs
to Stan's old owner who tried to experiment on Stan.
Yeah, and then Stan also gets captured by
By the
him.
way, the old owner knows that he
Stan
can talk.
Yeah.
So then the kids set up some sort of weird plan where... Oh, by the way, there's a whole plot line with the twin boys carrying on through these 2 episodes. There's a plot line with them just showing up everywhere.
There's
they
too
don't
much
know
to
how he
cover in
got
this
there.
show. There's too much to cover.
For a relatively short show, a lot happens.
You know what? Like, I'm kind of coming around on Dog with the Blog the more we talk about it.
Yeah, a lot happened.
We watched literally one of the best episodes of television I've ever seen in like...
yeah, and it was a 2-parter. It was Dog with a Blog.
Season 4, episode 3 of Succession, just for people who will get the context of it immediately. We watched that, and then we're like, well, time to go record this podcast about a dog with a blog.
And here's what I'll say. I've already forgotten what happened in Succession. That's how good Dog with a Blog is.
Yeah, literally they have a twin, and they go, oh, yeah, we go to different schools, so it doesn't, so we can be individuals. But literally they just use them to do, like, borderline, like, the most basic Shakespeare mistaken identity plots.
One of them's playing a game with the littlest girl, and she's like, you can't do that. And he's like, okay. And then she goes to the bathroom, and then they switch.
Yeah, he just wanders into frame.
Yeah, and then she comes back from the bathroom, and the new one tries to do that same thing.
He's
and she's
jumping
like,
on the couch.
You can't do that. And he's like, all right. And then the scene just kind of ends.
No, it's so much dumber.
Is it?
Because I rewatched it. He goes, you're pretty. And she's like, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then
because the show's very horny.
The show's so horny. Even if it's like 7-year-olds. They does not care. they go, and then they try and do the rules to the game again, and she goes, you can't do that either. They just basically repeat. It's like a who's on first style thing, except for just one child at a time shows up.
Yeah, but then so there's that thing in the second part of the episode where they're trying to distract Stan's old owner.
Yeah.
And then...
Who is not doing a great job.
He's doing his best.
Fair.
And I think Tracy Flick says... Who, by the way, is kind of abandoned being Tracy Flick at this point. She says, you got to do a distraction, and one of you will come in on a bike and knock the guy out or something, and the other one will, I guess, ride on the zip line that's been installed in the house while dressed like a princess. And
Yes.
And then the older son and the little girl are like, yeah, cool, we'll do that. And then the son rides in on the zip line as the princess, and she's on the bike. And, it's a fairly simple joke that I've seen in many Disney sitcoms when I was a kid. I don't know why it seemed so much weirder coming from this. I feel like I've seen jokes like that 100 times, but
yeah,
this felt unplanned, if that makes any sense.
That is actually, I would say, is the part.
It felt like they wrote every scene 2 minutes before they filmed it, every time. And the actors were all like, really? Okay.
Yeah, because they just got to go along with it.
Yeah.
Okay, do you have anything more about Dog with the Vlog now?
Well, I watched a whole nother episode.
We're not talking about the Barack Obama not in the episode, are we?
Hey, subscribe to our Patreon that doesn't exist, where I will talk about an episode of Dog with a Blog that I watched that we're not talking about.
I love the idea of you just have a second Patreon podcast that's just you doing Dog with a Blog episodes.
I'm doing a whole rewatch a whole watch through of
Dog with a Blog,
which I would describe as David Lynch for children. A baby's first Lynch.
Oh man. The only reason I rated this 10 is to counteract the other reviews that are clearly written about by adults without children. This show exactly serves its intended purpose, entertaining kids. Give it a chance. Much better than pretty much every Nickelodeon show. The actress playing Avery is very talented and seems extremely mature for her age. I
don't like this review one bit.
I must admit the dog really looks like he is talking. Completely believable.
No, he does not.
I have to give props to the CGI guy or gal that makes it possible. Again, if you have kids, it is well worth the watch. To you critical reviewers, find some adult programming to watch if you find the show too predictable.
You know what? There's a lot of problems with that review, but one thing I want to point out is I would imagine most kids would not see anything better or worse than your average kid's show in that. I would say the exact sort of people that would enjoy this are people who are 22 and have just done a lot of edibles.
Yeah.
That's who should watch Dog with a Blog, and they'll actually have a great time.
Honestly, skip the first 2 seasons. Just watch one episode. Watch the first episode to give yourself a framework for it, and then just start.
You can figure it out.
Figure it out. You're right. What am I talking about?
You can figure it out. No, yeah, I would imagine some high college kids having a great time watching Dog with a Blog.
Oh, you would love it. It's so weird. I don't know why. Talking about it more and more. It's because it still frames like a Disney Channel regular show.
Yeah, and I could totally see you just half paying attention, thinking it is a normal one. But I really feel that the writing staff just
kind of was like, fuck it.
We're, engaging in nihilist philosophy while making the show, and it shines through in its own weird way.
Don't you know if you stare at the blog stares back at you?
Yeah, the dog is the least interesting part.
He really is.
Like, who cares about that dog?
He kind of gets sidelined towards the end.
The parents are also pretty uninteresting.
Yeah, but the parents are uninteresting in the normal way that parents are uninteresting in these shows.
Yeah.
Where it's just kind of like they just kind of exist and to be confused most of the time and then kind of do awkward, bad physical comedy.
Yeah.
But they're not doing anything that's Beth Littleford, who plays the mom, is doing a good job doing bantery acting. Yeah. I would say.
No, those two are in a lot, and there's a reason they're in a lot.
Yeah. That's the other thing. It's it's funny. People I think get confused of making fun of a bad show as we're saying all of these people in it are bad.
90% of these people are more talented than I'll ever be.
Yeah, without even trying.
Yeah.
I don't know why I made that so much meaner.
No, listen, I don't think it was mean enough. I said 90. I probably should have said 99%.
I mean, yeah, you're not doing a lot of acting.
Okay, well, now you've challenged me. Hand me Shakespeare.
Why hand you Shakespeare when I have all the scripts for Dog with a Blog at the ready?
Give him to me. Let me try to deliver some fun lines. Is there a quotes page? Let me try to deliver some quotes from Dog with a Blog.
All right, let's get some quotes from Dog with a
Let
Blog.
me see if I can deliver these lines well.
I don't think they have quotes. I think they have trivia, crazy credits. Speaking of us...
Crazy credits? We'll try to do some... I'll read some trivia like their lines.
I don't think that's how that works.
Let me read some trivia like their lines. Okay. At the end of the episode, Guess Who's a Cheater? Stan says, "Good luck, Charlie." This is a callback to the Disney Channel series, Good Luck, Charlie. Okay, so I'm not a great actor.
I kind of want to check out I'm in the Band now to see how, like, if these people are better. Like, because this is the second outing from them, and I think they just kind of went, fuck it.
Yeah, if it's the second outing of people that made this, they were just having fun with their friends.
Yeah. They're doing the Adam Sandler vacation package where Adam Sandler just makes movies where he can go on vacation with his friends.
Yeah, I can see that.
Except for this is just they're making...
They don't have to leave home.
Yeah.
Their hometown.
This is the only other piece of trivia I wanted to say from this. In the episode, Guess Who's a Cheerleader? Stan says he's never had the desire to have kids after that weird weekend at the vet, suggesting he was spayed. However, later in the series, he has kids with their neighbor's dog, Princess. So that's some inconsistency with Dog with a Blog that I'm not going to stand for.
Oh, no. How will I ever recover? I can't believe Dog with a Blog's internal logic is not sound.
Okay, we're at the end of the episode. Is there anything you think you would do to change about Dog with a Blog?
No. There's nothing I would change about Dog. 5 more seasons. That's what I would change about Dog with a Blog.
Sounds like you'd recommend it. Yeah.
No, I would recommend it to very specific people. High college kids.
High college kids. Yeah.
Yeah. But no. What would I change for Dog with a Blog? Yeah. Like, you know what? Don't even have parents. Who cares?
I love the idea that the dog is independently wealthy.
Yeah. And he adopts the kids.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a much better show about a dog with a blog.
Yeah.
The dog is pretending to be a person, has felt bad because he's a successful writer.
He adopted these kids.
He adopted these kids after one of his blogs got their parents killed.
And then the blog is actually relevant to the plot at that point.
At that point, he has to write about...
Now, what blog got their parents killed, by the way? What was the blog?
Oh, the blog?
Yeah.
It was about how you don't need to wear seatbelts anymore. Cars are bloody safe as it is.
Jesus, man. What's the theme of his blog?
Well, he's a dog. So...
Oh, he's just like sticking his head out of the window and stuff. Okay. I didn't realize it was still a dog-themed blog.
No, it's not a dog-themed blog, but like, you know, like when writers write stuff, a lot of
Yeah, I
themes
mean, we
get...
discussed how they were nihilists already.
Yeah, yeah. So like, other themes get in. So in this, like, there's just, you know, randomly, like, he always loves, like... If he's ever writing about a steak, it's always got a bone in it. You know what I mean? There's just little things in here. Honestly, I kind of love this version of Dog with a Blog.
Yeah, if he was an eccentric millionaire dog who adopted children.
He's a dog that can talk, so that's how he does all this stuff. He doesn't know how he learned how to talk, but eventually he had to escape from his masters. His old master died in that place, and he inherited some of his money.
His old master died because he read the blog that said, "Don't wear a seatbelt."
This is killing people all over the place.
Oh my god! It's a post-apocalyptic show because half the population, every adult, read the blog and they've all died in car crashes.
This is a world where people take live journals very seriously.
He said, "Don't wear seatbelts. Stick your head out of the window and go fast to feel that breeze." And everyone did, and they're all dead. So it's all kids that he's adopted at this point. And, you know, now with no parents to stand in his way, he can sleep with as many poodles as he wants.
That's the thing. This was the large-scale goal, was all the poodle pussy I could dream of.
Also a good name for the show. There's a lot of good names for the show instead of Dog with a Blog.
Do you know what? If you had a show like this, do you know what it'd be called?
I'm eager to hear.
Mumbler with a Tumblr.
Thank you very much. Have I been mumbling this whole episode?
No, but it fits.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I think we can rename the podcast that.
Perfect, guys. Check out our new podcast, Mumbler with a Tumblr, every Thursday on Fox.
Thank you, Fox, for picking up a podcast.
Okay, as we get down to the end of this, what show, recommend a good TV show. This is a bad TV show, but honestly, this is a fun TV show. Maybe check out the third season of this TV show. It gets weird.
It might be weird in the second. We didn't watch the second.
We haven't watched any of the second.
It might be weird after episode 1 for all I know.
Well, guys,
but if no, I'll recommend a different show.
Let's recommend a great show.
Watch American Vandal. The lead from this is an American Vandal. It's a fun show. Watch
She's
it.
great in it.
Yeah.
American Vandal's an incredible show. Absolutely. Watch The Daily Show. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, if you can find some early 2000s Daily Show, probably still some funny material in there.
Early 2000s Daily Show, pretty fun. Yeah, check her out in early 2000s Daily Show material. Or
check out the Westminster Dog Show.
Check out Scooby-Doo Meets the Harlem Globetrotters. Boom. That was the episode. If you enjoyed it, please rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends. This is a brand new podcast. Why not check out some cool older TV? There's such a weird variety and like huge depth of this. We're really excited to explore this and all the fun of this. We're having a great time doing it. If you want to recommend shows, you can do it as a review on iTunes, which would really help us out, or just send it directly on Instagram to me at DPIC Comedy, and I also have a special out called Goblin King on YouTube. And then on Instagram, you can also follow Daniel Crow at Daniel F. Crow. But he notoriously hates social media, so, follow him out of spite, I think. Sure. Thank you. Good night.